Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, checking your bank account, and finding an extra $1 million deposited by the government. It sounds like a dream come true, doesn't it? No more debt, a new house, a luxury car, and endless vacations. Now imagine the government does this for everyone. Every single person in the country wakes up a millionaire. Intuitively, we think poverty would vanish instantly. But in reality, by the time you walk to the grocery store to buy a loaf of bread, you might find that the price tag isn't $2, it's $200. Or maybe $2,000. Welcome to the most dangerous paradox in economics, the idea that money equals wealth. Today we are going deep into why central banks cannot simply print their way to prosperity, and why trying to do so has destroyed empires throughout history. To understand this, we have to look at what money actually is. For thousands of years, humans used barter, trading a chicken for shoes. It was inefficient. Then came gold, which had intrinsic value. But today, we use fiat money. The dollars, pounds, or euros in your pocket are essentially paper or digital digits, backed by nothing but trust. Trust that the government will accept it for taxes. Trust that the shopkeeper will trade goods for it. But here is the fundamental rule of economics. Scarcity creates value. Air is vital for life, but it is free because it is everywhere. Diamonds are just shiny rocks, but they are expensive because they are rare. When a central bank prints money, they are not creating more houses, more food, or more iPhones. They are simply creating more claims on the existing amount of goods. If you double the amount of money in an economy, but the amount of products stays the same, you haven't made people twice as rich. You have simply cut the value of every single dollar in half. Let's visualize this. Imagine an auction with 10 people, and everyone has $10. They are bidding on one single painting. The bidding will likely cap out around $10. Now imagine we give everyone $1,000. Is there more art? No. Is the painting better? No, but the bidding will now go into the millions. The only thing that changed is the number on the price tag. This is the seed of inflation. So, how does this new money actually get into the system? It's not like the movies where a helicopter drops cash over a city. The process is more subtle and honestly more insidious. It starts with the central bank and the government. When the government spends more than it collects in taxes, which happens almost constantly, it faces a deficit. To fill this hole, it issues bonds. A bond is basically an IOU, a promise to pay back money with interest later. Normally, investors or other countries buy these bonds. But when nobody wants to lend the government money, the central bank steps in. They click a button on a computer, literally, it's digital, and create money out of thin air to buy these government bonds. This is called quantitative easing. Suddenly, the banking system is flooded with this new cash. Commercial banks now have more reserves, so they lower interest rates to encourage you to take out loans. Cheap mortgages, cheap car loans, cheap credit cards. It feels like a boom. The party has started. People spend, businesses expand, and stock markets soar because there is so much liquid cash flowing around. But remember the auction analogy? All this new credit is chasing the same amount of real-world resources. Construction companies can't build houses fast enough, factories can't produce enough steel, and farms can't grow enough wheat to keep up with this artificial demand. So, prices start to tick up. At first it's subtle. Your coffee costs 5% more. Gas goes up a little. Politicians will call it transitory. They will blame supply chains or war or greedy corporations. But the mathematical reality is undeniable. The supply of money has expanded faster than the supply of goods. And here is the trap. Once you start printing to pay bills, it is almost impossible to stop. If the government stops printing, the economy crashes because it is addicted to cheap debt. So, they print more. And this is where we cross the line from simple inflation into the nightmare known as hyperinflation. To understand the terrifying endgame of money printing, we must travel back to Germany in 1923, the Weimar Republic. After World War I, Germany was crushed by massive war debts known as reparations. They owed billions in gold, which they didn't have. So, the government decided to do what seemed so easy. They turned on the printing presses. At first, it worked. The government paid its workers and bought supplies. But soon, the public realized there were too many marks circulating. Trust evaporated. The speed at which people spent money, known as the velocity of money, skyrocketed. Everyone wanted to get rid of their cash as fast as possible to buy anything real. The stories from this era are chilling. A cup of coffee might cost 5,000 marks when you sat down, and 10,000 marks by the time you finished drinking it. Workers demanded to be paid twice a day. Why? Because if they waited until the end of the day, their wages would be worthless. They would take their paychecks and literally run to the nearest shop to buy bread, soap, or cigarettes. Children were seen flying kites made of banknotes glued together because the glue was more expensive than the money. People burned stacks of cash in their stoves to heat their homes because the wood was too expensive to buy, but the paper money was worthless trash. There is a famous story of a man who took a wheelbarrow full of cash to the bakery to buy a loaf of bread. He left the wheelbarrow outside for a moment. When he came back, someone had stolen the wheelbarrow, but they had dumped the pile of money on the ground. The thief knew the rusty wheelbarrow had value, but the millions of marks were garbage. This wasn't just an economic crisis, it was a societal collapse. The middle class was wiped out. Life savings that took 40 years to build couldn't buy a newspaper. This chaos and desperation paved the way for political extremism, showing us that when money dies, order dies with it. If you are enjoying this deep dive into economic history, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We break down the complex world of finance every week, so you can protect your wealth. We often think inflation hurts everyone equally, but that is a lie. Inflation is actually a hidden tax that transfers wealth from the poor to the rich. This phenomenon has a name: the Cantillon effect. Named after the 18th century economist Richard Cantillon, this theory explains that where the money enters the economy matters just as much as how much enters. When the central bank prints trillions, who gets it first? It doesn't go into your mailbox. It goes to the big commercial banks, the government, and large financial institutions. These groups get to use this new money before prices have gone up. The banks use it to buy stocks or real estate. The government uses it to pay defense contractors. These insiders buy assets at yesterday's prices. As they spend the money, it trickles down through the economy. By the time this new money reaches you, the teacher, the construction worker, the retiree, prices have already skyrocketed. You are the last receiver. You get the inflated prices without the benefit of the early access to capital. This is why during periods of high money printing, you often see the stock market at all-time highs, while the average family is struggling to buy groceries. The rich get asset inflation. Their houses and stocks go up in value, while the poor get price inflation. Their food and rent get more expensive. Modern examples confirm this. Look at Zimbabwe in the late 2000s, or Venezuela more recently. In Zimbabwe, they printed notes worth $100 trillion. People were billionaires, yet they were starving. The political elite, however, who had access to foreign currency and hard assets, remained wealthy. Money printing is not a magic wand to solve poverty. It is a tool that often entrenches inequality. It creates an illusion of prosperity while slowly eroding the foundation of the working class's purchasing power. So, if printing money is a trap, what is the solution? How do we actually cure poverty and create wealth? The answer is boring but true: production. Wealth is not the paper in your wallet. Wealth is the goods and services available in society. To make a nation richer, you must produce more. You need better technology, more efficient factories, educated workers, and innovation. If a farmer invents a machine that allows him to grow twice as much corn with the same effort, he has created real wealth. The price of corn drops, and everyone can eat more for less. That is deflationary growth, and it is the holy grail of economics. Printing money tries to cheat this law of nature. It tries to consume without producing. It is the economic equivalent of trying to lose weight by loosening your belt instead of going to the gym. It feels better for a moment, but it doesn't solve the underlying problem. In a healthy economy, money should be a stable measuring stick, not a variable that changes every day. When central banks manipulate the money supply, they distort the signals that businesses and entrepreneurs need to make long-term decisions. To wrap up, we cannot print our way to paradise because money is just a claim on wealth, not wealth itself. History has shown us from Rome to Weimar to Venezuela that destroying the value of your currency leads to ruin, not riches. The next time you hear a politician promise free money for everyone, remember the wheelbarrow in Germany. Remember that there is no such thing as a free lunch. The bill always comes due, usually in the form of inflation that steals from your savings. Call to action. What do you think is the biggest threat to the economy right now? Is it inflation or something else? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to understand how to protect your money from this system, check out this next video on assets versus liabilities. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.